What if every tattoo a woman wears isn't just art, but a silent message from her soul? And Carl Jung warned, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Are we seeing confidence or hidden wounds inked on the skin? Welcome back to Mindset Money. If you're new here, this is where we dig deep into the psychology of self-growth, success, and transformation. I'm excited to reconnect with you all, whether you're joining for the first time or returning after a while. Every story here is designed to help you see life in a new way. So get ready, because today's journey will challenge everything you think you know. There's something Carl Jung once said that changed how I viewed tattooed women forever. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. But what if I told you many tattoos aren't just body art? They're psychological messages, silent signals written in ink, hiding in plain sight. Not everyone wants to see it, but once you do, you can't unsee it. This isn't about fashion. It isn't about style or rebellion. This is about the deeper, darker layers beneath the surface. Look closely. When you see enough stories, women marked in ink, seemingly confident and expressive, a quiet pattern begins to form, a pattern of pain. Here's the part no one's talking about. A large number of tattooed women aren't expressing confidence, they're expressing wounds, and they don't even know it. I didn't come to this conclusion overnight. I started asking, why do so many women get tattoos during emotional turbulence? Why do the symbols often connect to grief, trauma, or identity conflict? Why do bold, vibrant designs echo the darkest corners of the mind? The deeper I looked, the more I realized this isn't about tattoos at all. It's about the unconscious, the buried self trying to speak. Jung called it the shadow, the part of ourselves we deny, repress, and hide from others. The shadow never goes away. It waits. If ignored, it finds new ways to express itself, often through symbolism. And what is a tattoo if not a symbol you wear permanently? Think about it. You can't see your own back, and yet some women cover it in ink. Why decorate the one place you'll never directly see? Maybe it's not for them. Maybe it's for someone else. Or maybe it's even deeper, a cry to be seen, or a desire to reclaim control over part of themselves that once felt powerless. Jung believed that people often mistake identity for healing, and that's the trap. Some women don't get tattoos because they've healed. They get them because they're still bleeding. The tattoo becomes a form of armor. It's not look at my art, it's don't look too closely. Then it hit me. We're not in an age of expression, we're in an age of sublimation, where pain is aestheticized, where unresolved trauma is branded as empowerment, and the deepest parts of the self are projected outward, not integrated inward. There's a reason so many women choose powerful symbols: serpents, skulls, swords, angel wings, eyes, broken clocks, chained hearts. These aren't random. They're mythological, archetypal. Jung said the unconscious speaks in the language of myth and symbol. When a woman inks a broken clock on her chest, I don't just see a design. I see the echo of a past she couldn't control, a moment frozen in time. Jung also spoke of the persona, the social mask we wear to survive society's expectations. For centuries, women were told to be soft, nurturing, gentle. So what happens when a woman walks into the world covered in black ink with sharp lines and defiant symbols? She isn't just making a statement, she's rejecting the old persona, ripping off her social mask. But here's the paradox. When you replace one mask with another, you're not necessarily liberated. You might just be wearing a different costume. Jung warned of this trap, the false sense of identity that arises when we define ourselves against something instead of understanding who we really are. It's not just about rebellion either. Many tattooed women describe the process as addictive. It helps me cope. It makes me feel in control. But control of what? The answer is rarely surface level. It's tied back to pain, abandonment, abuse, grief, betrayal. The tattoo becomes a ritual, reclaiming agency over a body when the body once felt like a war zone. But does that ritual lead to resolution, or does it become a loop? A loop where the pain gets buried deeper and the ink gets darker. Research shows women with high levels of emotional dysregulation, borderline traits, or past trauma are significantly more likely to engage in body modification, not just tattoos, but piercing, scarification, cosmetic alterations. So the question isn't why. The question is what's missing inside that ink is trying to replace. And this isn't all negative. Tattoos can be beautiful. They can mark healing, transformation, a journey survived. But the line between expression and suppression is razor thin. Most people don't know when they've crossed it because the unconscious mind is clever. It doesn't ask permission to speak. It whispers through dreams, habits, symbols. If you don't listen, it starts to shout. That's where we'll pick up in part 2, because Jung's next insight could completely reframe how you see tattoos, trauma, and transformation. There's a strange moment when a tattooed woman is asked, "Why did you get that?" She pauses, she thinks, she gives a reason, but it often feels incomplete. "I like the design. It represents strength." But if you look closely, listen closely, you'll sense something underneath. The tattoo isn't about what it shows, it's about what it covers. Jung believed we're rarely aware of the true reason behind our actions. Choices are often unconscious compulsions dressed up as logic. For women who've lived through emotional chaos, abandonment, or rejection, ink becomes more than self-expression. It becomes self-preservation. But there's a layer even deeper than shadow or persona. Jung called it individuation, the lifelong process of becoming whole. Most people never start this journey. They live masked, reacting to wounds, mistaking rebellion as authenticity. Tattoos can be part of that illusion when used as shortcuts to identity. In Jungian terms, individuation isn't about adding symbols, it's about confronting them. It's not about saying, "I survived." It's about asking, "Why did I break in the first place?" Without that question, the ink becomes camouflage, emotional armor. Beautiful, but heavy. Because symbols carry weight, and when you carve them into your skin without healing the pain they represent, they don't free you, they anchor you. Some women use tattoos to externalize what they can't internalize. Pain they couldn't speak becomes a symbol they can point to. But here's the twist. The more tattoos, the louder the silence underneath. It's a paradox Jung understood. The louder the expression, the more you have to ask what is being suppressed. Let me make one thing clear. This isn't about morality. It's about psychology. It's not a judgment. It's about why many women are drawn to tattoos at key emotional turning points. The pattern is clear. Breakups, deaths, betrayals, identity collapse, major life transitions. Tattoo decisions spike during emotional storms, often impulsively. Jung would say, that's your unconscious taking the wheel. If you never question it, you risk becoming a character in your own story, not the author. The ink tells a story, but who's writing it? Many tattooed women describe their bodies as journals, maps, memory banks. But what's left unsaid is that this journal often gets written during storms, and when the storm passes, the ink no longer represents where they're going, only where they were. So the question becomes, are you evolving or are you memorializing your pain?